One. What's up, everybody? Wellness Week Live. It's just me and you, girl. What's up, girl? So today's episode: how to avoid a fight. That's right, on Wellness Week Live. So what's up, everybody? How you doing, by the way? How are you today? How you doing? Good. Just say it to the phone. Say it to the screen. How are you? Okay, give it to me. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I understand. So how to avoid a fight. The holidays are coming up. So, yo, man, you better get ready, especially this holiday. Geez. But I want to talk about how to avoid an argument and how to avoid an actual fist fight. Because I got into a situation actually recently at a restaurant. And before I tell you about that, I want to tell you that, listen, I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. And there's no bigger chicken than I am. So I'm not trying to post up like I'm Bruce Lee or something like that. But being in the DJ business for longer than probably most people have been alive, I've been in the DJ business. This is what I do for a living, actually, not on the side like some DJs. I do this full time. I've DJed now for over 30 years and I'm still going. So you know what happens when you DJ, right? I've DJed at nightclubs and event or places and stadiums, and I've DJed at, people's homes and you name it, corporate functions, club events, birthday, everything. And I've seen some stuff actually, and so in a way, I'm like a fight sociologist. I've seen so much that I could probably write a book on, you know, fighting and how things happen and why they happen. They shouldn't happen, could happen, should happen, whatever. So that's what this show's about. Because I've seen a lot. I've seen fights between you name it. Kids, children, teenagers, young adults, men, women, elderly people. I've seen straight up melees and what do they call that? Riots. Like I've been there where like they called the cops. When I way back when I did a little more nightclub DJing and a big fight broke out. We're talking hundreds of people, and they called the cops, and the cops were losing. Like, okay, that's pretty scary. It's like, well, who do you call if the cops can't handle this thing? So, anyways, but my point is, I've seen a lot of fights because of the business I'm in, and the business I'm in, not all the time, but a lot includes people being high or drunk or buzzed, and men and women. It's usually the men that they got to post up like they're tough. So, anyways, how to avoid a fight. So, going back to the restaurant incident. So, a couple weeks ago, I was at a restaurant out here in Jersey. Nice restaurant. I was with a friend, and this is kind of sad because I wasn't at a nightclub. It wasn't dark at night and CD bar, which is where a lot of shit happens. But I was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, bright, beautiful day. I'm at a restaurant, and some dude walks into the restaurant. Clearly, mentally ill, no doubt. You could tell he was disheveled, and things like that. Some people might call him a street bum, but I want to have more respect for humans than to say that. But yeah, he looked rough. Like he looked like he hadn't had a bath in like a year. But he comes in and makes a beeline for my table. I don't know. I must have like you'd be surprised, like mentally ill and crazy people and drunk people and shit stirrers and you name it. They always come to me. I don't know what it is, but I guess I look like a decent person. Maybe, I don't know. So dude makes a beeline to me. And he has like a piece of paper and he's like, hey, he's just going on about some crap. And I'm eating with a friend of mine. And so I'm already on alert now. I'm like, oh, this guy's not right. He's like, and he's like, I'm just trying to get back home. And if I could just have some money. And he's, had this like, I don't know, pretend document that's like, if you can give me this, then I can go to this spot. And I go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't have any money to give you at this time. That usually is fine. People will walk away. This guy, boom, out of the gate, just exploded. What did you call me? Now he's encroaching on my personal space, like inches away from me. I'm sitting, he's standing, and he's like, what? You call me a bum? I go, I kept my cool because, like I said, I've dealt with countless crazy people over the years of DJing, and I still do. I haven't stopped DJing, so I didn't get frazzled. I was like, oh my, like I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. I said buddy, not bum. I didn't say that. I said buddy, and then of course he's like, well, I'm not your buddy. So this guy, no matter what I was gonna say, like he wanted some, he wanted to get at it, and so I again was calm, and I'm like, oh, my apologies. What are you apologizing about? Then he's saying this to me. What am I? Now I'm starting to get pissed because I'm almost taking the bait now because I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, and again, I'm not a fighter. I want peace, but sizing him up, I'm like, yeah, he wasn't 7 feet tall and 400 pounds of muscle. I'm like, I could probably snuff this guy out, but that would be a flaw. I didn't take that bait because, and this is why you should avoid fights. I still stayed calm and I said, my apologies again, and I didn't. I was looking at him, but not eye to eye because I wasn't trying to make him more aggravated. And I said, again, my apologies. And my demeanor was at peace, and I was just, but I was aware, what was going on, and so I said, again, I my apologies, sir. Sir, I called him sir, and there's that. And this guy's younger than me too. He's probably in his 20s. I'm 50. But so he calmed down and he just started mumbling, and then he just kind of, walked away, and as he was walking out, he made it to the door, and then, a manager came out and just asked him to please don't come back or whatever. So let's rewind. So how you avoid a fight, and believe me, I've avoided a shit ton of them, a lot. So number one, I didn't take the bait. He probably wanted to engage me, hence why he's in my face. And he's mentally ill, number one. So I'm not dealing with a sane person. And my heart, honestly, my heart goes out to him. Like, so I wasn't, and I would encourage that to you too. If you're dealing with somebody, again, granted they haven't assaulted you or they haven't pulled a weapon or anything like that, he's just yelling at me and being belligerent, but you have to keep your cool. I kept my cool. Of course, I wasn't comfortable with it, but I kept my cool and I placated his ego. That's how you get out of 99.9% of altercations. Trust me on this one. I've been around. I've been involved. I've seen more fights than you will ever see in your life, ever. And I'm still going. So I've seen, like I said, crazy shit. And I know what works. I know what doesn't work. I understand. You're a tough guy listening to this, and you can't always avoid everything. Sometimes I understand that. I get it. I'm not Pollyannic. Again, I've seen and been around. I'm in the nightlife scene. I'm not a baby. I understand that. Sometimes you have to fight. 99.9, you do not. You only fight if you have no way out. I could have gotten up. I could have walked away. I could have, which I did do. I was, being very pleasant. There's a lot of options. You don't have, the only time you have to fight is if you're being pushed into a corner where you cannot escape and the person is, no question in your mind, getting ready to assault you somehow, then you have to fight. But again, that's only if you were cornered. So if this guy would have gotten up and started like putting his fist up and stuff, I would have slid my chair away and pleasantly just backed up and said, please, I don't want to fight. You know what I mean? You have options. You call a manager. I have a cell phone on me. I could call 911. Obviously, they're not going to come in 2 minutes, in 2 seconds. But my point is, you always can get, if you cannot get up, if you cannot walk away, if you're in a literal corner and the person, is whatever, pulling out a weapon, well, if it's a gun, you really, you could put your hands up and whatever. But my point is, if there's no other option, and if the person is gonna pick up a chair and is about to swing it at you, you know what I mean? Like you see it coming, then you can't get away, no way. Then you must fight for your life. You have to defend yourself. You have to neutralize that threat the best you can, and then run and call for help. You know what I'm saying? But 99.99999, you can walk away. I understand it's not puffy. Anyways, back to this guy. Part of me wanted to snuff this guy out. Like, I was just like, I'll stomp this guy. But that's a flaw. That's bad because I don't know what this guy has on him. Does he have a knife? I've lost friends to being knifed. That that's not a I'm literally. Does he have a gun? Does he have any other form of kind of a weapon, a shank, something? I don't know what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So I treated him like he was a 350-pound all muscle man, because he's ill, and unfortunately I know about this too. I know because I've dealt with mentally ill people in my life. They are capable of murder. And that's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. That happens a lot. So as much as I wanted to tell him to go fuck off, and you want to step outside, step out. Believe me, I was like, oh, my fantasies. But I didn't take the bait. So when I showed him respect and I called him sir, and I did apologize over and over again, I placated his ego. I said, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. You're so great. I'm weak. Please forgive me. Meanwhile, like this guy, he's a nothing to me physically, but I fed his ego. And when I did that, this man has probably never been shown respect in his life. He didn't even know what to do with that. That's why he was angry about, why are you saying sorry? Why you call me sir? Like no one's ever showed him any kind of respect. I'm sure of this, so I did that and he didn't know what to do with that. And then he looked down and just started mumbling and, walked away. 99% of the time, if a person like that does that, they're going to do that. So you have to start with that. You can't start with, what? You want something? Because he was in my personal space. He was acting in an aggressive way. But again, that would be a big, big problem because I know people that I know personally that took the bait and were beating the shit out of somebody. And the person they were beating the shit out of pulled a gun, shot the person I know up. And the person I know shouldn't have taken the bait. So that shit happens. And this person that I know did not pass away, thank God, but they were in, physical rehab forever. So you have to be very, very, again, you only go at it if there is no other option. And again, so my heart broke for this guy too. I wasn't, I was not really angry, but more just like, man, this poor guy, But again, part of me was like, oh, I like to give him a smack, anyways. So that's how you avoid a fight. You placate someone's ego. And trust me, that works almost 100% of the time. So, and if that doesn't work, then yeah, you're going to have to, you got to do what you got to do to survive. I mean, you can't, you have the right to defend yourself. But then again, so I've seen so many fights. It just, yeah, you placate the ego. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. So that's what you do. It doesn't matter. Big, small, whatever, tall, short, guy, crazy, not crazy. Like it just, oh, my apologies, and that's that. And this even worked with the crazy person. Now, most people starting fights, they're not crazy. So, but that's what I do. And I would also say that that's with anybody. Okay. So you placate someone's ego. And I'm not saying pander, I'm not saying belittle them. Oh, I'm sorry, you little no, like my act sincere, my apologies, and I'm sorry. And that's that. And that's what I did to him too. I didn't baby him like, oh, I'm sorry. Fuck you. I didn't do that. I was like, I'm sorry. Even though I don't be even he's like, what are you sorry about? I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have money for it. Like that. You know what I mean? And so I get approached all the time, about this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, sorry, I don't, da-da-da. That's that, and so that works. Now it also works for arguments. Here comes Thanksgiving, right? And the holidays. Someone wants to talk about the election. We beat you guys. Yeah. Don't even take the bait. Just kind of like a physical altercation. What do? You get up and you walk away. Go to the kitchen, go to the living room. I got to step outside real quick. I got to make a phone call. Like just get out of the situation. That's what that's it. Don't take the bait. Move yourself. Go on your phone, go whatever. So that always works, and yeah, if you want to squash arguments too, just be like, yep, I agree with you. Yep. That's great. Cause it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. This family member wants to press your buttons or let's blah, blah, wah, wah, wah. This family member, unless they're paying your mortgage and your clothing and your life, I wouldn't pay attention to this part. You know what I mean? Like, and believe me, it's tempting because it's like, I'm going to show that, but you have to let your ego go. and just don't take the bait. And that's how you avoid fights, and that's how you avoid arguments. Just, I'm sorry, my bad, no problem. Yep, all good, and that people want to be respected and people value respect, even if they don't deserve it. Just give it to them because you're now the one in power. It's the Jedi mind trick. So it works all the time. So, anyways, that's that. But yeah, I've seen some doozies, man. So, but yeah, most of the fights I've seen, let's just pretend I've seen 100 fights. I've seen much more than that, but let's just say I've seen 100. 99 of them didn't have to happen. And I've seen, like I said, some pretty crazy shit. And it's just sad because none of it has to happen, with it. And then a lot of it wasn't even drunk people. They were just completely cognizant, sober people. Some of it was drunk, some of it was high, some of it was, they're crazy, legitimately crazy. But yeah, just, hey, we're all good, and you just, because by the way, if you kick this person's ass, like if you don't try to avoid it, you're like, yeah, fuck you, let's get into it, and you haven't tried any avoidance yet, you're gonna lose because it's always gonna wind up in court. And so if you beat the shit out of this person, you're going to court. If this person beats the shit out of you, you're going to court. The only person winning is the lawyers. And the only saving grace you would have is if, again, you tried to walk away, the person cornered you. And nowadays, there's cameras everywhere. So you will have video proof of you walking away and you literally being cornered. And then you will be absolved from beating the shit out of this person. If you can do that, and again, you don't beat them to beat them, but you beat them to neutralize them so you can pick up a phone, call the police, and don't run, stay there. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way you would be absolved is if you had, video proof, and you will have video proof, that you got up, you walked away, or you were trying to apologize, or the person struck you first, you couldn't get away fast enough, and then you engage them and you somehow you win, whatever. Then yes, you more than likely, I'm no lawyer, but then you would probably not have an issue, no matter what damage you cause to the person, again, because it is self-defense. But if you're like, you haven't tried to get up and walk away, the person hasn't touched you yet, and you're like, let's step outside. Now you're going to strike first, and it's going to be a lose, because even if you knock that person out, you're going to court. If they knock you out, you're going to court. Just walk away, dude. Just walk away. Or my apologies. All good, just pretend that they're great, placate their ego. That's why they're a shit stirrer, because they're insecure. So just, yeah, oh, no problem. Hey, you're good. I'm sorry. My bad. Oh yeah, I'm wrong. You're right. Yep, got it. No problem. I'm sorry. So because it always ends up in court, with the exception of if it was legit self-defense where you had no other options. So yeah, you don't. And I know us guys, it's macho. We don't want to look bad in front of our friends and our girls. And again, if someone's trying to mug your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, yeah, again, you got to fight. But I mean, if it's just, listen, I've had countless girlfriends where people came up to us in the street, in the city, this and that, and talk shit. And again, as long as they're not touching my girlfriend or, the woman I'm with or whatever, and they're just talking crazy shit, talk all you want, my man, and I just like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, we're sorry, we'll get out of your way, just keep it moving. Don't, again, because only the lawyers are going to win. Or, like I said, if you get your ass kicked, you go into court. If you kick his ass, you go into court. You only fight if there's no other way to escape, to walk away, to go some, again, just my apologies, this and that, and just placate the ego. Anyways, I'm driving that point home, I think. Okay, everybody, thank you for listening, and use some of that this holiday season, because again, not God forbid it gets physical with your family, but it will. There's arguments that are waiting for this holiday season, and don't take the bait. Walk into another room, or just say, "Oh yeah, you guys are right," and just keep it moving. You don't, unless someone wants to have an intellectual, really sincere one-on-one conversation with you, who's not trying to showboat, like, that's different. You know what I mean? But anyways, okay, hope that helps, and all the best out there. Like and subscribe, please. I got to get my subscription numbers up. I'm getting my ass kicked out here in Jersey. Thank you, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. DJ Tony. Out of here.